it's crazy. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so away we go, team. Mike has printed out. Robbie, Jenny sent a document in chat. It's not for now. You can print it out later and do it for homework. So you won't need it for this session. But excited about this session. Let me just look here. See if I can get this working. Okay. I like when my little Bluetooth works. Please. Okay.
Your new little Bluetooth?
Yeah, my new little Bluetooth. Don't tell my wife. She had to pay for it. Okay. So there's a thought that John Maxwell said recently to a friend of ours. Jenny and I have a friend by the name of Jeff Williams. And Jeff hired John Maxwell for a couple days. And I think it cost him $100,000 a day. And John Maxwell, one of the key components that Maxwell said to Jeff, and he talked about integrating more journaling, more thinking into his business, was that statement: workers will always work for thinkers. Okay, that's a really powerful thought. And it's not to put down workers. I'm a worker. Jen's a worker. Michael's a worker. Robbie's a worker. Dan's a worker. We work. But the concept is, are we intentional with our thinking? So do we actually put aside time? Do we actually journal? Do we actually, just maybe even spend a minute away from the screen so that we actually think about what we're thinking? And that's that idea of metacognition, isn't it, that we've been talking about? So I found this little note from Harvard Business School and Professor Hill. And it says this: average leaders focus on the performance gaps. This is really good. I like this differentiation. The difference between what is and what should be. Okay, so what is today, or what was. So what is sort of what happened in the past, and what should be. Okay, this is the work of efficiency, productivity, and improving the past. This is awesome. But the true agenda for leaders is in closing the opportunity gaps. And that's what we all want to focus on today. The difference between what is and what could be. Isn't that good? Mm-hmm. Between what is today and what could be. And this is much more the work of innovation, transformation, and inventing the future. So maybe get that hat on, get that future positive hat on, because we're going to get moving here. You guys know this so well. Bottom left, Robbie, what's in the bottom left of the thinking tendencies model? What's the language we've been using?
I'm going to blank on this.
That's okay. All right. You know what, Robbie? Pass it on to Jen. Jen, what's in the bottom left?
Past negative thinking.
Beautiful.
Right.
Michael, what's in the bottom right?
Future negative thinking.
Robbie, what's in the top left?
In the top left is past positive.
Excellent.
Right?
Jennifer,
yes.
Top right?
Future positive.
Oh, and here's the hard ones, Mike. Mike Mahani's got both hard ones. What are the two mindsets in the neutral zone, Mike, that we've been looking at?
Oh, so it's conscious and what's the word? Sorry, I'm drawing a blank on that one. Excellent. As well.
Conscious thought in the neutral zone we called mindfulness. Non-conscious thought. Look at Jennifer. I'm not sure what she's doing. Waves? Is that what it is?
I'm trying to give Mike a hint.
Oh, you're
but he won't look at me.
Hint. So non-conscious thought in the neutral zone is what we call the flow zone. So those are the 5 mindsets, and we really want to focus today in future positive thinking. Okay, future positive thinking. We looked at this before, but I wanted to bring it up. It's sometimes good to repeat and use it for a different reason. This idea by Autogen of mental contrasting. Remember the concept that if we look at the future positive outcome desire first, in other words, every day with everything we do, we should first start with, what's the goal? Why are we doing this? Is this part of the business plan? Which part is it? Then after we go from the future positive wish / outcome, then we look at obstacles. Okay, so, why isn't this getting done? What obstacles are in my way to really make this work? Because apparently the brain loves that tension, team. The brain loves this. And as a matter of fact, there's many great inventors that have said, never, ever go to sleep without giving your brain a problem to work on. We talked about that last time. So this idea of what's the goal, where we go.
Who said that, Rex? Sorry to interrupt your flow.
Yeah, no problem.
Who said that?
One of the famous US inventors, the top guy.
I just was going to say,
Edison.
whoever said that was not a menopausal woman. Because really, before I go to sleep, the last thing I want to do is give my brain a problem. I'm trying to get rid of them all so that I sleep.
All right.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
That menopausal stuff, don't get us into that. Now, Robbie, here's and Mike, if Jen's going to jump into menopausal stuff, I'm going to give her my stuff. When we were in Montreal, especially, it was so cold. We had an old leaky house. My wife, Jennifer, used to wear a fur coat to bed. She was so cold. I could never get at her. She was all wrapped up in stuff. This menopausal stuff is so cool because now she's so hot, she doesn't wear anything. It's awesome. I'm telling you. Okay. That's you brought it up, honey. You brought it up. Okay. Mike, is that too much information, buddy?
Just a little bit.
Now,
but I knew right where you were going, Ryan. I knew right where you were going. When I heard fur coat, I thought, okay, now she's gonna go the other.
Totally. All right, team. So
sorry, sorry about that.
That's okay. That was awesome.
I took you out of flow.
Reverse contrasting is when we look at the obstacle first and then the outcome. Apparently, our brain doesn't prefer that. This is a big change for all of us, right, team? Typically, you grab a problem and you go, okay, I'll fix that. The goal, once you hit a problem or an obstacle, is to reiterate, what's the outcome here? Where are we going? Why are we moving in this direction? And then look at the obstacle. So this is called mental contrasting. So we look first at our future positive outcome focus, okay? Number 2 is then we look at the future negative obstacle focus. And then number 3, we build a plan to get over the obstacle to hit our goal. So it's a future positive process focus, okay? That's the goal here. Remember the thought. We want to look, people often look at the performance gaps, right? Between what is and what should be. In this time together, we want to focus on the opportunity gap, which is the difference between what is and what could be. I want you to dream a bit here. Let's get looking into future positive. Let's get focused on this idea of what could be. Then we can always look at what is now. That's our obstacle. And then we're going to plan to create the future, right, that we want, okay? So Jenny and I are bringing you some questions today, and this is going to be homework. We'll walk through them, but it's really going to be your homework for the week. And we took some questions and we built sort of future self into it. So, how does my future self like to be communicated to? Here's where we want you guys to go as you start to fill this out. Dream a little bit. What's 100 out of 100 in the future? 5 years down the road, how do you want to be communicated to? Consistently. So really go deep. What people are you hanging around? What are they saying to you? Right? Is it 80% negative? How do you like to be communicated to? Right? You might as well define that and design that so that it becomes who you become, right? You're going to make that happen. And then obviously, what are the worst ways that people will communicate to you? And you want to know that too. We'll keep going here. What time of day does your future self do your best work? I want you to figure that out, right? What are the slots when, is it from 7 in the morning till 10? Is it 8 till 9? Is it end of day? Most of us it's morning, but you know, what is your best opportunity to work for your future self? And I'm talking, you're going to make it up, right, team? You're looking down the road 5 years out. You're saying, okay, my future self, my gut tells me that, you know, my best working time is between 7 and 10. And then you're going to start using that information to develop your future self perfection. Is there a time that your future self prefers to be contacted? In other words, do you actually have a plan for when people call you? Right? Do you, or is any time good? And I got to be honest with you, I haven't done this future self work as much as I should, because I basically pick up the phone when you call. I love taking care of clients. Now that's not wrong, but am I my most productive during a day if I just sort of respond and I haven't planned that out? You know, is there a time to be contacted or not contacted? What are some of the honest, unfiltered things that people should know about your future self? That's a great question, right? Go for it. Who are you becoming? What do you want to become? Right? Where are you going to live? Like, you know, what are the unfiltered things? You know, I was coaching an executive this week, and I said, you know, he's been under a lot of stress, and I said, how do you unstress? Like, how do you back off? What allows you to re-energize? And he jumped, he didn't even pause. He said, concerts. He said, my wife and we've been to over 200 concerts in our life. That's how and he said, in COVID, there's been no concerts, and I've signed up for 3 already in June. That's a great question. Right? Like, I didn't know that about him. And then we got talking, this guy and I got talking about Springsteen, of course. And then he's been down to the Stone Pony down in New Jersey, right? Like, it's, you know, it's quite a conversation. So, you know, what are the unfiltered things that maybe you want to think about, you know, 5 years down the road? Number 2 on the page, what is the best way to convince your future self to do your best work? Next week, we're going to bring you some context to this. We're actually going to give you some ideas around a philosophy that helps you accomplish more goals. But this is a powerful thought, isn't it? Like, how do you convince yourself to do your best? And remember our concept from a while back that environment is more important than will. Okay, let me say that one more time. The environment that you're in and around is more important than the will you have. Okay? So how do you tinker with your environment? How do you make that the best place? You know, so that's people, that's place, that's, you know, all the things that are around you. A couple more here. What are some things that people might understand or misunderstand about your future self that you should clarify with them? Okay, what does that look like in the future? And then how can people earn an extra gold star with you or your future self? I like that one. That's a great question. Okay, finish this off. How do teammates best have your future self's back? I love that question, right? How do we have each other's back? And what are the 3 things that bring your future self back to center and make you feel good when you're stressed? Now, one of the things, leaders, that we wanted to do in regards to this concept is want you to fill those out this week about your future self. But you know what that document is? It's a great glimpse at a potential document that you could hand somebody, close to you. Could be, you'd have to have fun with it. Jenny and I could do it with each other. And it would just give Jen some insights into sort of how I want to be communicated to. She already knows all that stuff. But let's say, in this world of high change, especially in companies that we're coaching, it's not a bad idea to be able to give this filtered piece of paper to somebody and say, hey, here's a little sort of glimpse at who I am and who I'm becoming. And let them get on board, number one. Number two, it gives them insights that probably are going to take years to figure out about you. So that's an interesting sort of way to position that, okay? Now,
Ryan, did you say that that's in the chat? Because I don't see it in the chat.
I will re-put it in. Sometimes it
Okay.
fades away from the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it was in the chat when Mike was there, and I think Jenny's
Yeah.
right. I think when Robbie
They
joined,
go away.
it
Yeah.
tends to back off. So I don't know why that is. So Robbie, I had to promise Mike some British stuff. Okay, so this is a great story if you
Should be
haven't
there.
read it about the the men's 8, and they had the men's 8 in Britain. I hate to tell you this, Mike. I'm not jumping on you here. But like they had not won forever. They'd never even placed. Like they would come in 7th all the time, right? And there's, it wasn't good. And then they set themselves a crazy goal. I love this idea, to win a gold, okay, in 2 years. Now, the one thing that we want to end up with this concept of questions, and we're going to have a big discussion around it, is what they did is they actually asked themselves and each other one question for 2 years. One question. Will it make the boat go faster? How good is that? You know where we're going, right? Mike, Robbie, Jen, Ryan? What is your one question? Right? Will it make the boat go faster? So if I'm going to go have fish and chips, will it make the boat go faster? Or should I have salad? If I'm not going to work out in the morning, will it make the boat go faster? Not a great question. And over these sessions together, we want to make sure that the 5 of us are focusing in on your question. What is your question? Okay, so will it what? And Mike and I tend to do a lot of connecting with clients. So is that the most important thing? Well, it seems to bring in revenue, right, Mike?
Yeah.
So does it have something to do with clients? Does it have something to do with relationships? And so we want to have that conversation here in the next little bit. By the way, just a heads up. So they focused their performance. They started to improve. And on the 25th of September, 2000, your team, Mike, won gold. Like, that's crazy.
I'm still really Team Canada, Ryan.
I know, but I had to bring it to you, buddy. You're the queen. Come on.
And we've got some pretty good rowers actually
Mhm.
in this country. Or we have had in the past. I don't know about this time.
Yeah, but I don't know if you've ever beat Robbie's US team. Here we go. Gloves are off.
I have no idea. You might know, Robbie.
So here's what we want to end with, and let's have a big discussion. Let's brainstorm. So will it make the boat go faster? I love that thought. But I want to focus us in on our theme today. Will this make your future self better? Is that a good thought? Will this make your future self better? So, Ryan, I don't know, pick something. Not walking today. Ryan, will that make your future self better?
Actually, let's use your writing the book
Yes.
as an example.
Yes, Mike.
Right.
And next
So
week,
taking those extra calls that are just coming in, unexpected. Is that helping you get your book written?
and it pops me right out of flow, right? And that's my excuse now. Oh, I won't get back in flow. So totally agree with that. And the idea is, will this make me, make my future self better? Could easily be applied by, will this make me write the book?
Yeah,
totally.
Because actually, there can be conflicts, though, Ryan, right? Because you could take those calls, but like you said, they're client related.
Yes.
So that's helping your business, but it's not helping your book. So how do you've got to prioritize, don't you?
So here's what we just did, just with Mike. So I want to follow through. Remember, let's use this idea of mental contrasting again that we brought up. So what's the goal? To write the book. Okay. What's the obstacle? Potential clients calling. What's my future positive plan? The process plan. If I was really smart, I could give Jenny my phone, and she could, for just those 2 hours, she could answer the phone and tell the client, listen, Ryan will get back to you at 4:00. Right?
You could just forward your calls to me.
Totally. So Mike, I'm just going to jump in, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike, what I didn't do is I haven't done that yet. And this is what I'm looking for, is the brainstorm with the 5 of us to really sharpen up, right? This idea of, will it make the boat go faster? Jenny, a thought.
Well, just on those 2 questions on your screen, will it make the boat go faster? It's a really interesting question, because it's not even about me or you. That's like, will it make the book get written?
Yep.
Like, it's actually looking at an outcome. But I really like the second question. Will this make your future self better? Because it includes everything, but is it not specific enough? Like, it includes writing the book. It includes, but more than just making the boat go faster. It includes everything in the future that's going to happen to me.
Sure.
That's in my control.
And I think where you're going is a good place. And here's my point. Let's not be restricted to one question. Let's put out as many questions as we want, right? To make this work. Robbie, what hits home for you as we talk about this? Will it make the boat go faster?
I like Jen's perspective, in the sense of, I've always felt like, I think there are times when you need to focus and bring it down to a level of that question, because that's the immediate goal, that's the immediate vision. But when you give it a wider lens of, will this make your future self better? The idea of doing the things that will get you to write the book, which is an external piece of it.
Yep.
Will that make you better, Ryan? Will that make Jen better? Will that then bring new opportunity? Will it, it answers a little bit more from a wider perspective.
That's very good. Very good. When Robbie, personalize it a little bit. When we start to think about, will it make the boat go faster, or will this make your future self better? What types of focus or questions would you like to be asking to get yourself to the next level? And here's why I asked that, because you did mention to us a while back that you were focused on being the best that you could be in your current position, and then potentially continuing to grow yourself so that you could keep moving. Does that make some sense?
Yes. So interesting that you pose it that way, because my answer to being the best I can be in my current position doesn't make the boat go faster. And what's going to make my future self better is to just take action towards the position that I'm looking for. And I can't tell you, in the last week or two of hearing these messages, I have done that. I have started the process. I know that, and I share with this group, the current company I am is in Schindler, and I want to stay there. But if they don't have the ability to allow the boat to go faster, to allow me to create this better future self for me, then I need to create it. And the difference between where I was 2 weeks ago and today is phenomenal. And I just feel so much lighter and better and more focused. So that's what it was, to personalize it. The staying in the position and trying to improve myself in that position was not making the boat go faster. So it was really about catapulting myself to what does that next level look like, and how do I get there? That's what I've been working on.
It's really good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mike, what sort of hits home, and then I'll come to Jennifer.
Well, in terms of making your future self better, I think there's probably several branches to that, isn't there? There's professionally, there's personally, and with your personal relationships. There's health wise, and financial, I guess, outside of business. So there's probably not just, there's, of course, will this make your future self better is the overall question, but then the more specific, will it make the boat go faster? There's probably 4 or 5 questions. Will this make me healthier?
Yes.
Will this get my business to where I want it to be? Will this improve my personal relationships?
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
And I think, Mike, well, I like the way you and Robbie and Jenny have done that. It's multiple questions, because we're complex individuals. We're not just a one thing. On the other hand, when we think of our future self, that is sort of the collective, like Jen said, right? It's okay, 5 years from now, what do I look like? That's a great question. 10 years from now, what do I look like? Right? And it's not just position, it's character, right? It's energy, it's stamina, it's our mental health, it's our cognition, it's our metacognition, it's our awareness, it's all these things. So I think that it's the theme of the day is our future self development. But can we come up with the key questions that will help to focus our future self? And that's the homework for the week, is for you guys to fill out some of those questions that allow you to start seeing yourself 5 years down the road.
Right.
Jingles.
Well, I'm wondering if those questions will help get the big question, help me get, I'm really struck by, will it make the boat go faster? Because it's so concrete. Like, it would be so easy for them to answer yes or no to everything they do.
Yes.
Everything from what time they go to sleep to, they made it easy enough. Because I have just been recently reading about how difficult it is for us as humans to put off gratification now and substitute it for gratification in the future. I've been reading about that lately. It's actually quite a challenge to us. It's way easier to eat the chocolate bar now, So I don't know if the simplicity of that question when they made it up, and the fact that they were all in it together as a team maybe helped them leverage support from each other to really to really do this, to really accomplish their goal. But I know it is limited, but for myself, I'm I'm wanting to try to find something maybe that's another metaphor for me.
Sure.
It's not a boat, but it's something simple like that and really concrete, because I would love to see a study on this men's 8 team. If
Yep.
while in those 2 years, while they were trying to make the boat go faster, did other areas of their life improve also at the same time? I'd like to see how their relationship, how their fitness, well, we know that improved, but
Sure.
how their mental stress or sleep, or maybe even if they had endorsements, were they more financially successful, all those things, because I really think we're holistic people. And if we're working to make our boat go faster, it's going to spill over into every part of our life, including our relationships. Just me.
Can I step in for a quick
Please.
second? I had two thoughts. One is, Jen, I loved the reading that you're doing on this gratification. And I'm not sure where I saw it. It was many, many years ago, but it was age-based and it did deal with chocolate bars. They had a study with kids where, based on age, the younger children, they were given a choice. They were put one small piece of square chocolate in front of them and said, you can have this now. And then on another plate, it said, or you can have this chocolate bar in 10 minutes.
Yes.
And it was a phenomenal thing to watch as they matured. The smaller children picked the chocolate now, and the older kids picked the entire chocolate bar and waited 10 minutes. So that was like a really cool thing. And I had seen that many years ago. But the other thing that you had mentioned, which I really love, this idea of what you're saying, Jen, is, and I think I take it with, for me, I take and substitute boat. And that's, I think, what we're trying to hone in on. What is that? What is your boat? What is it for you? For me, I know it's confidence. What will it make my confidence go higher? And with that, it's starting to, it really, when I identified the core of it, I think it's really starting to sprinkle down and giving me a holistic happiness of my relationships, of my work that I'm doing, of my confidence level within myself. So I think it's just that we all have to figure out what boat means to each of us.
Good. I like
Yeah.
that approach, Robbie.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
That's very good. Next week, we're going to look at how to do it, and we'll dive into implementation intentions. Now, those are, well, it sounds like a big word. It's really just a simple process. There's a lot of science behind it, and it gives us an ability to shape our future practically, instead of just sort of dreaming about what we want and then never doing it. So we'll add on that piece. Any final thoughts as we sort of, finish up this idea? Is there any gut feel that, that hits home as we think of the beginning? We looked at this. I'm going to go back to that. I really like those words. So the opportunity gap is between what is and what could be. And that's different than between what is and what should be. So a lot of companies just look at, okay, how do we improve? But great leaders look at opportunity, right? What could be? What is the future? How do we move in that future direction? And that's a lot more risky, but has a lot larger reward. And just want you to really focus in on that from a future self point of view this week.
I think too, Ryan, that what is and what could be versus what is and what should be, you're also, I think, going to get pushback from people, because a lot of people they're not going to argue what should be.
Yep.
But when you say what could be, I think you get a lot of people that will bring negativity to it because there are too many obstacles in their mindset to overcome.
Yeah, it's very true, Robbie.
Yeah.
Very true. And this is about the future we're trying to create. And I think, 2021, right? Like this, what a wonderful time to redesign. And, I mean, we're all in the mud. So how are we going to get out of the mud together? How can we, I think the key thing that, again, we want to honor, the two of you and Dan, Jenny and I love our little times together. We honor you because you're on a growth path, right? You're on a growth mode. And we never want to stop that. It doesn't have to be with Jen and I. It can be with somebody else, or it can be reading a book or whatever. By the way, Robbie and Mike, should we ask Jennifer to read the book? The book is called Will It Make the Boat Go Faster? So Jen, are you able to get us a report back on that? How long would that take?
There's an actual book called Will It Make the Boat Go Faster?
That's the book.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to.
All right, so Jen's in.
I'll
She's
do
going to
that.
report back on some key components.
Okay.
And it's going to be also with a little bit of a shade around how Mike is going to help Jennifer meet the Queen.
Well, that's my what could be.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. So Jennifer's is not, would it make the boat go faster? Jennifer's is, will I be able to meet the Queen?
Will it make me meet the Queen?
Mike, you're in trouble, buddy.
I know. That's
awesome.
a big ask.
Totally.
You see, there's the obstacle. He's already bringing it in. Come
Yeah,
on.
I'm going to do some mental contrasting.
Awesome, guys. Well, great to get some time together. We'll give you a little extra time today, and then we'll dig into this implementation intention next session. And we'll really, think about your homework. Maybe take 5 or 10 minutes right now just to, think through that little sheet of paper, answer some of those questions in that future tense. And then love to take that next week and start talking about, okay, so how do we actually make this happen? How do we become that? Okay.
Okay. Jen,
Sounds good.
could you send the video of this one, please?
Yes,
Totally.
Okay.
will do.
Hey,
And we'll send it to
Yeah,
Dan
everyone,
too,
yeah.
So Dan's caught up. How's that, team?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll render it and send it.
Okay.
Awesome.
okay.
All right. Thanks,
Okay.
Robbie.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Brian.
Mike.
Thanks, Jen. Bye, guys.
Bye.